Good morning, good morning. TikTok, you're good. We're live on YouTube. Guys, let's get into it. Today I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to kind of give you a little first look here, right? So I haven't really already pre-reviewed the charts, right? So I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of what we did yesterday, how we traded it, and then kind of where we're at today. So we'll start off with the stocks, right? Like you guys know, we'll start off with the SPY here. Let's open up this one here. So I'm going to use this one for this indicator particularly. Those that were trading with us yesterday on the news, the news came out bullish-ish. It got just an over-dramatic pump that, you guys that were in the trading room with me, I said there's no way this is going to hold. So we basically took puts, all the way down through these oscillations. And then if you look here, one of the things that I had put out, I saw forming early, almost kind of when it was coming up this way, right? But we had our inverse head and shoulder populate here. So that caused us to kind of have our dramatic push up. And it kind of drove us almost to 414 again, right? So the pre-market's hanging out about 413 or so. Like you guys know, if you look back at my trend lines here, I have a red trend line here around 416.93. Guys, anywhere in this zone, it's just so dangerous to take a call, guys, because if you're trading options, because if you go to the 1 hour, you can just see that anywhere in this zone, if you look back, it's just such crazy resistance. People get too caught up sometimes on the fact that we can go straight up here, right? Are we going to? Probably, it's very likely, but y'all have to remember too, we could be just kind of having this peak here, and then we do another rounded here, right, which is no higher than 415 or so, like that, right? Just play the oscillations, play the candles, don't. As a trader, my biggest advice to you guys, and I tell you guys in this room all the time, is, don't be one-sided in how you see things. Don't always think put, always think call. You guys hear me talk about taking puts or staying short a lot, but that's because most of the time we end up in the upper part of the range, right? But we did make some calls to go call yesterday. Actually, this bounce here at 408 or so yesterday, we had made the call to take a call on that. So just be careful on your calls today. Sometimes it's better just to sit back and let it play out, and then you take a put up here. If we do actually reach that, right? It's just going to be so profitable. So we do have the Bollinger Bands kind of tightening up a little bit, which leads me to believe we got a possible big move coming. But it's also the hour chart, right? So it could be a week before that happens. So just be patient with it. On the options today, the SPX, I'm not going to go through. It's kind of the same thing, guys. As far as TA goes. Now the Dixie, I was going to point out. So earlier, it's funny. I was looking at this, right, and this red line is a very key line here. As you guys know, I've been following it in the room, because if you scroll out on the Dixie, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It couldn't hold it here, right? So 6, 7, 8 hits. So be very, very careful, because the Dixie is going to control where the market goes, and you can see we broke above it. This is a pivotal spot, guys, huge. So watch this today on the Dixie, because if we hold this line, what was once support can actually hold at, what was once resistance can actually hold as support. Then that's going to be just a huge move north. But we may end up running into a situation like this, right, where it holds it, tries to hold it, tries to hold it, and then loses its steam. The only difference between back here versus right here is we are tightening into this teal line here around the 100.84. And if you look at historically, whenever we hit that 100.84, it just bounces up like crazy. So it's not even a normal bounce, right? It just goes straight, almost parabolic. And you can see here did the same exact thing, right? So and then these levels, it hasn't even been able to reach back to that level, because people are convinced that it's going to hold here, so they start buying early, is what you see. So to me, as we hit this line as support above this line here, It's only a matter of time before this support actually holds. People believe it holds, and we go straight up to this level here, which is going to drive the markets down. So just always watch the Dixie, guys, because the Dixie controls the market. So I briefly, going to touch on the tech stocks. I'm not going to do the full TA on the tech stocks. If you guys need that, you can come in the room, and I can do it whenever you want. But I will tell you, the pre-market is down a little bit for Apple, but overall, yesterday they were up, so that's okay. Microsoft was up yesterday. Pre-market's down. Pre-market being down is not necessarily mean that we're going down. For those who trade stocks or you trade options, you guys know that typically if a pre-market's down, we end up reclaiming that pretty quick. So unless there's news that's pushing it down, right? Pre-market on Amazon is up, and it was up 3% or so yesterday. And then Google crushed it yesterday. I mean, it was up like 4% yesterday, and the pre-market's up. So it's just all over the place, guys. It's good to watch this, if you're trading the SPY or anything S&P. So we'll touch a little bit on Bitcoin. So let's take a look at good old Bitcoin. So I want to show you guys our day yesterday. So this is the daily, not where I wanted to be. Let's go to the 15-minute. Actually, let's go to the 2-minute, because that's where the signal calls come from. Okay. And let me make sure the harmonic tracker's on there. Yeah. All right, so this was our day yesterday. I wanted to show you guys, how amazing, that this just played out pretty much all day yesterday. So we started off with this long here. Sorry, clear my throat. We started off with this long here, right? And so here's around the news event right here, and where it pumped up. So we were already in a long per our indicator, and we had a confirmation fractal. We had our Bollinger Bands begin to tighten. They were green. We did break the barrier of the Bollinger Band. I mean, literally everything in there told you to go long. I mean, it was pretty nuts. So it was an amazing long right here that many people took. We did get a short call up here, which did play out for, nice little scalp. Again, y'all know, even if when it calls a long up here, if you're near these red resistance bands, they're not really safe, right? So plus you have strong bearish divergence, coming across where you have the candles going up, where we're not really going up, if anything, down on the RSI. So everything in here would tell you to negate that. Then we did get another short call off of a red bar here, order block, and we did get a red swap also on the order or on the Bollinger Band, right? So this red right here tells you, hey, not only we're curling in, but we're turning red. That might be a shift in the trend. So you have 1, 2, 3, right, 4, because we're red on the divergence hunter. Things telling you to take that short, right? So we did take this short. We actually put this one out in the room. You can see this is where the crypto signals come out. This was the ETH short that we threw out here. So ended up playing out just really, really well. And then we came across and look at it, flipped over to the long. So that was kind of our day yesterday. We had a really, really great day trading in the room. Now let's talk a little bit about kind of where we're going to go. I like to flip to the 1 hour. If you guys zoom out, I'm going to mute the harmonic and Bollinger just so we can just see the candles here. So you guys know it's kind of ugly, right? But if you go to the daily here and you zoom in, right, everybody in the world's pretty much following this potential head and shoulder. We're just like right at the neckline, guys, and that's why the bulls are really fighting hard for this not to break. So if you were to take, a line like this, right, which is the neckline is going to be more derivative off of this breakdown from the head than it is going to be here. It attempted to break the neckline, couldn't do it, and so it's just hanging out here, guys. So if you want to draw a line on this chart, if we break this neckline around 176 or so, man, this fall is going to be really crazy because as you guys know, this is what I have been preaching for some time, that we still have not completed this gap fill, just like we did here, right, where we completed the gap fill. Now, I want to caution you guys because this could come fairly quick. I am overall bullish. I have just been saying we need a gap fill to continue to be overall bullish. So my suspicion is if you're running an ATA or you're trading, you can take these shorts, right? Because it's gonna reclaim this side, right, of the head and shoulder. But there's gonna be a significant bounce, very likely to be right here. So, which is going to be somewhere between 23, depending when we hit it, 23, 23.5, right? That's where a lot of the influencers and people you're following, possibly that they're saying that number, right? That's where they're getting it from. And that's just simply, pulling this right here. So we can even line that up like that. And see, it just kind of follows these candles up, and it's a perfect hit on here. So a breakdown here, not only would this bounce right here be considered gap filled, but it last time it hit here, it just went parabolic, right? And so there's a lot of calls and speculation that we're going to hit up into this level here, which is around 34.6. And I do think we're going to, because, this is the prior support level, right? And we've already retested here. We did not create the higher high quite yet from there. But I think that this pullback here, this gap fill, will gain enough support to push us back through up into this level. Now, I will caution you because I'm not bullish in the long term. I think towards the end of the year, I think we're going to start to see more of a crash in early next year for sure. So, I would suspect that we're going to probably pump up here. We'll probably fight this level for a little bit, like that, and then towards the end of the year, sometime, between November and January, then I think that we're gonna have our real crash. So, if I get anywhere up in this level, 34, 35, I will likely stay short. I will not take any longs whatsoever. So we'll play that accordingly if you're following these huddles. But you can see we're still breaking down a little bit today. On that. So, but if this neckline breaks because of how many people are watching this sucker, this thing is going to fall fast. And not only do you have this head and shoulder, you got this double top, right? That's pretty much already broke the neckline. So just be really careful out there, guys. I think there's a lot of bait trapping going on where they're pumping it up to make people think we're ready to go bullish, just to build contracts. If you go to, I think it's go to botjock.com, go down to liquidations, and you can see, let's see if it still shows it. Look at $178 million liquidated yesterday. And it's not off chance, right? Look at this one account, $10 million. So the market makers know what they're doing. They're trying to bait people into contracts. They will not let this drop unless they believe they have enough longs. If they don't have enough longs in there, right, to wipe, then they're going to pump this back up to bait more contracts, and then they're going to dump it on you. So just the more you start to understand the game that they're playing, the easier it will be for you to trade this. So that's my kind of analysis. As far as where we're going today, I can see us getting, as low as retesting this line again, 26.5. Do I think this crash is going to happen today? Possibly, if you want my honest opinion. The only reason why I think that is because not only we're squeezing the line, but for those who trade, y'all know that Thursdays, man, they just love to dump on us on Thursdays. So it's just, I don't know, it's something about the market makers that they used to do it a lot on Fridays, and that's been shifting to Thursdays. So, but if you do ride this short down anywhere around, to be honest with you, anywhere around 25.5, I think, or 25.2, I would consider closing that position. Don't get greedy, because what was once resistance, right, it's gonna act as some form of support. So we may not even see this line right away. It may not come straight down, right? We could do something like this where it comes down like this, hits this, bounces, right? And so let me draw the path. So like if it were to come down like this, right, and then let's say get a little bitty bounce, and then it comes down like this, and it gets a nice bounce off that, maybe a double bottom, then it's going to take off, and it's going to try to retest this neckline right here, right? It's going to retest it. So we could pump as high as that before we fall straight down like that. So I don't know that we're going to fall here, but so it could be something like that. It does not have to necessarily be a straight hit. So just if you're charting your lines on your chart, the two most important lines that you're going to want to follow right now is this neckline and this line right here. So which you can do it on the daily, 1 hour, whatever you want to do. As far as the high that I see us going today, pending any news, obviously, right? Because if news comes out to support it different, I don't see us breaking this side of this shoulder at all. This shoulder might not be done, but 28.8 or so is like peak. I don't even think that we would get that far right away. So maybe 28.3. Try to fight this previous high. So that's kind of where I'm at today. I'm still leaning short more so than long. I'm just going to wait for the setups to play out. I'm going to wait for our indicators to call that. Let's take a look at the 2 minute and see what it's calling right now. And we'll see if that one's probably going to, yeah, see, it's already calling short. So, so currently our indicator right now is picking up a short around this level here. A lot of red up here to support that. We have the back crab, right? We have the short call. We did flip red here. We are tightening on the Bollinger Band, but we are getting a bounce off the Bollinger Band right here too, right? So when you look at this, guys, when we take our shorts like this, we teach you in the room, don't just enter the short. When you get that short call, right, you want to make sure that you have some kind of confirmation here. So when you have this push up like this, we're pushing north on the RSI. You're going to want to hold off for just a minute, wait for a doji, some kind of confirmation, right? And then you would take that entry. So, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So again, we had some news drop at 8:30 on the PPI. So if that came out bearish, we're dropping. If it came out bullish, we're pumping. The best of the TA in the world doesn't matter if news doesn't support it. Also, let me show you guys just quickly. This is our new indicator. I do keep this one on the side. This one's really, really good if you trade it on the 5 minute. Is the one that we typically trade it on right now. So you can see currently on the 5 minute, the bearish side is winning, not by a ton, but so we definitely could have some bullish push north, because if you look at this indicator, right, from the zone tracker, let me zoom in here. You can see we're actually getting a bullish projection off of the breakout from this kind of trend follower. And, we're starting to get some bullish volume. We do have green support level on the zone tracker, and we're heavily bearish. So you might get that swap. But this indicator is sick, guys. If you guys haven't been using this, you guys really should. It's pretty cool. The concept of this one is it identifies where the gap fills are and where the market needs to move to continue to basically fill those gaps. So, and it works on all time frames. So if you go to the 1 hour, you can see we still have a gap to fill upward around 28.2. So like we talked about, we could potentially see a bump up to retest this EMA on the 1 hour, which is the 200, like it did here, right, which would complete that gap fill there. So I don't believe we have any gap fills lower other than down here. Yeah, we still have these ones down here to chase, which is the 25.2 area that we were talking about. So let's see, I only got 10 minutes left. I'm going to jump in. ETH, I'm not going to spend as much time on. It's going to follow Bitcoin pretty much, guys. So I'm just going to go to the 1 hour. I was charting some previous lines here that we were trading. I'm going to take those off. So Ethereum, if you go, let's go to the daily, see it a little easier. This is kind of what I was charting before. This one played out pretty good, didn't even quite reach it. I'm going to take that one off for now. I don't need that one. So this is kind of what I was following here, is this line, which it broke it, but then we've also fell below it again. For Ethereum, I see us retesting possibly this teal line area. It's probably a little low. I would probably place it about there. So we have what was once support turns as resistance, right? So around 1698 is my low, I think, for Ethereum. If we break that level and we get back into this zone, then we could see as low as this line here, which is kind of derived off of this bottom flow. And so that would put us about 15, 14, high 14s. I don't know that, like Bitcoin, I don't know that we're going right there. I would suspect there would be a bounce around 17, maybe 1680, something like that, before we would even get there. The high on Ethereum, the high is going to be highly dependent on this red line. If we can break 1860 and hold it as support, then the high is pretty much retesting 2000, 2030 or so. But if we cannot hold this line, if we continue on the resistance here, 1850 or so is going to be pretty, 1860 is going to be pretty strong resistance, so pushing us down. So just keep an eye on that. Let's talk about the ATAs. I only have 9 minutes, but I don't have a lot running. So I have ETH long, short. I have LTC long and Matic long. So we'll take a look at how those are doing. You simply just go into there. You're going to load your chart. We're going to go into ETH. So we have ETH long and short. I know the long's not out yet, so there's really not a lot I'm going to do with this. If you shrink this down here, you can see my entries are up here. And that's purposefully because I've only DCA'd one time. I had a DCA mark here. You can see it hit it, bounced up, and it's just been ranging. So it still hasn't hit it. I'm still okay with leaving it at this level because, guys, even if I DCA 2 times, I still have a third one. So even if, let's say, if I do a 5 times dollar cost average here, that's going to bring my entry down to somewhere in this level here to get the bounce. And if that doesn't work, right, when it falls to 17, somewhere in that 17 range would be my next one. And that's going to bring my entry into probably the high 17s, which I'm good with for now. So I'm not too concerned. You know, we'll kind of hang out in it for a little while, but I'm not worried about it. Shorts are doing well. You can see 3 days made $74. Actually caught the DCA and caught the fall here yesterday, so that's awesome. This is the first time I'm looking at it. Caught a DCA, just ton of shorts in here. And we're currently in a short, no DCA, so we're doing good. So although our long is stuck, right, we're earning on our short, so I'm good with that. I'm not going to stop the ETH shorts. Let's check the settings just to double check. So I do have ETH. I'm running parabolic SARs. Take profits are default, and I'm only running 1 DCA, which is what I want. So I'm going to leave it like that. So we're not going to touch anything on ETH. Let's take a look at LTC. So I'm only running long on LTC, so which is too bad because shorts are doing really well. That's okay. We were just taking a pause. Longs are doing good too, like this. 8 days, $129. So LTC is a beast, guys, if you don't know. Longs are doing really well. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm definitely going to keep the long going. Yeah, I'm going to keep LTC long going. I'm not going to... I'm trying to think what I want to do here, guys. I think there's still more downside, guys. So I'm going to reactivate my short. So let me show you how to reactivate that. If you are not... if you look at your chart and you see that you have a sell here, you don't have to reset anything, right? You can just turn it back on. If you do not have the sell here, you have to move the date on the yellow, which you would just come over to the gear and you would just change this date to today. Since, you know, obviously I didn't run it for yesterday, so I don't mind resetting it just because it will reset my status bar to show me what I've earned. So I'm just gonna put that in there. So, you know, we just put in today's date. We put in the time, 54, close trade on chart. You should get a yellow candle here. There it is. That means what this tells it is it's basically a reset. It shuts it down, right? So it starts over new. So we're gonna hit here. We're gonna add alert. And we're gonna do ATA ambit LTC short. And we'll just add that back in there. I didn't look at the, yeah, okay, 1 DCA. That's all I want. I don't want to do more than 1 because if we do get a parabolic pump up, but I want to be able to manage that. So we're gonna add that back, guys. So we have ETH long, ETH short, LTC long. It should be adding the short here shortly. Trading view takes a minute. And then let's take a look at, let's save that. There it is, LTC short. Okay. So we are back in action on LTC. So I'm going to go to Matic. Let's take a look at what Matic's doing. All right, so Matic's in a 1 DCA right now. It looks like it actually went in profit, but it fell out super fast. So I'm just going to hold off on Matic, guys. But let me think here. What do I got? So I have one. Always try to balance your account, right? So if we're in the middle of the road where we could go lower, but then we could see a pump, right? Try to have a balance. So I have 1 long, 2 longs, 3 longs, and I have 1, 2 shorts, right? So I'm okay with keeping this long because I think ultimately we're going long, but I would really like to find another short. We were running Sol as our short, and it was doing really well. I just happened to stop it. So I may not stop this one, guys. 6 days, made 34 bucks. Not as good as the other ones, but it did get stuck for a little bit. And it's not really deep. I mean, it's really close to its entry, and we haven't even done a second DCA. So, plus I like Matic. I rarely short Matic because Matic has just ridiculous parabolic movements north sometimes, and it's just it's too risky to short. So. So I'm going to leave the Matic long. Let's take a look and see if we can add a short anywhere, just to kind of balance that. See, Sol's been doing good, man. 7 days, 100 bucks, but let me go to the 1 hour. So this is how I determine, guys. I just go to the 1 hour, and I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to see where are we in the range. See, we could go a lot further down, but notice where the range is mostly in this area. So I'm kind of worried to short this because I don't know that we're going to break this level quite yet. So I think I'm going to hold off on my adding the other short until tomorrow because you all know tomorrow I will add probably a few more because I like to do a little top heavy through the weekend because the weekends are really slow volume, so it just does this, and ATAs absolutely destroy those kind of markets when it just basically goes like that. So let's just leave that today, guys. So we added LTC short at least, so that'll help combat a little bit if we do fall to earn. Nothing is really super concerning right now. My deepest trade is my ETH, and I've only DCA'd 1 time, so it's not really that deep. So I'm just gonna let this roll. I did want to show you guys yesterday. I wanted to just kind of do a quick shout out here. So John Cheney, who you're our #1 fan there. Appreciate all your support. So if you scroll up here, I wanted to show you guys. It was super cool. So you can see John actually, who's been kind of following along in these huddles. He's running 2 Goliaths actually. So both of his Goliaths just crushed it yesterday. Both of them took $525 shorts on BTC, $175 shorts on Sol, and $225 on ETH through that drop. And he look at this, all while I was not even paying attention. And so both of them did that because he's running them simultaneous. So he absolutely just crushed them. That's almost $2,000 a day doing nothing and not even. I mean, it's all automated. This is all fully automated, as you guys know. So for the community, guys, give me like maybe 20 minutes or so, and then I'll open up the room, try to get it just before market open, and then we'll trade today together. And then for those of you guys on TikTok or watching on YouTube, if you guys want to join, you guys can join for free. You just got to come into botjock.com, sign up, and you guys are welcome to join. So trading floor and all that stuff. Most of what we charge on our memberships is for the products. So hope that helps you guys out today as far as guidance, where we're going, where I'm thinking. Overall today, I'm probably going to, unless I see like a obvious double bottom or an obvious inverse head and shoulder, most of my scalps will still be short. I still think we have that gap fill to come, guys. So, but we'll see. But I appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys in the community here shortly. And TikTok, you guys can hang out for a minute.